and a 1 and a 2 and
Smoking and toasting, joking too, sipping and roasting, yeah, that's what we do. Set 'em up, knock 'em down, make that cherry glow, with whiskey and cigars, the gentleman's cologne.
That sounds like a party just about to happen,
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this fine radio program, podcast, and video extravaganza known internationally as the world-famous Smokin' and Toastin'. We are so glad to have you here for show number 490. And Ian has volunteered to do the math, and that puts us at...
That puts us, carry the 3 minus 2, halfway to 500 right now.
Okay, it's good to know. It feels like it's closer than that somehow.
It's called new math.
Okay.
Also, I went to school in Liberty.
Yeah, well, and
that's the country for those of you that don't know.
And when we first started the show, I was told there would be no math, so I am not here to check your math.
We learned by counting pigs.
That's right. That's what you do in Liberty.
And gators.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Gators. Yes,
gators.
We love talking about gators here on the program. They're, I would say, roughly third on our list of things we like to talk about. Second would probably be cigars and whiskey.
Yes.
And first would be Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage,
So yeah, we will be happy to indulge in all of those things on today's program. Show number 490. We are going to be bringing you a very interesting look at what bartenders say, or what Vine Pair rather says, is the one whiskey that you should buy and bring home from every U.S. state.
Oh,
so I thought this would be interesting.
That's an interesting one,
you
right?
You can weigh in, obviously, but we'll get to that. Of course, it would make sense that we'd be drinking whiskey on the show, but those of you who listen to the show on the regular basis know we're never that coordinated. Today we're going to be trying a Mezcal. It's called Wahaka Mezcal. It's from Oxaca, Mexico. And we'll be trying that. And Ian brought the beers today. So this is how it worked. Ian said, I have a couple of beers I want to bring on the show. And I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. Because usually I bring the beers, right? So I was like, okay, that's fine. I said, usually we start with something light and then move to something a little heavier, and then finally the heaviest one will be the last in terms of ABV. And Ian looked at me and said, I've got 2 beers I want to bring. And I said, okay, I'll bring something light. And so that's the way today went. But what are we tasting beer-wise? Because I've given
what's the light one you got?
I gave it to you. It's in your cooler.
Oh, that's right.
It is from Back Pew Brewing. I know
Back
that.
Pew. Yes.
And it's a German-style Pilsner.
Tom's Pills, German-style Pilsner. I love the picture of it as well.
The picture is great because it's got this little German, Swiss chalet type
village going on.
Yeah, I dig it. It makes me think.
So German-style lager made in Texas, 12 fluid ounces, coming in at 5%.
What a lot of people don't know. Show the can again. Show that to the camera. What a lot of people don't know is that the building to from the beer that he's holding. That is where the negotiations are going on to try and end the Iran war. It's a little village in Switzerland. They're drinking German pills.
Then coming in slightly bigger than that.
Yeah.
And I'm just stepping it up one notch, okay?
Okay.
Is the Camille Golden Strong Ale. This is from Roughhouse Brewing.
Here we go.
And this one is at 9.2%.
Okay. Just minor stuff.
A lot of times I'll bring in like an IPA for the middle beer, and it's usually around 7. So you've gone a couple of steps above that.
And then stepping it up one more. Mm-hmm. Because we can't be outdone by the second beer. We got this is called Body Farm Imperial Stout.
I'm sure it's light.
Coming in at 12%.
Okay, there you go. Well, Ian.
So light, drinkable, float down the river kind of beers.
I love that you're consistent. I appreciate that about you so much. Chris Collins is our guest today. Welcome back to the show.
Howdy. Thank you.
Now, Chris has given us, and he performed it live here at the beginning of the show, he's given us one of our cooler Smokin' and Toastin' theme songs. We have several, and this one and it's one we
crushes it.
We played probably hundreds of times as the intro to the show, but it's super fun having him here doing it live, and we're going to have him do a little more music for us in the program and when Ian said, "Hey, Chris Collins can come back on the show," and I was like, "Awesome! That means I don't have to prepare as much stuff. He can just do songs. It'll work out." But we do have beers and mezcal to taste, and we do have. Our regular features on the show will continue to happen. We will try a beverage of mystery here in a few minutes. And then on top of that, we'll bring you the two most popular. Well, one of them's the most popular. I don't know about the other. Drinking news is super popular on the show. And we have a teaser headline for you for the drinking news story today. And that is, ma'am, please keep that gun holstered. And we have a drunken fact for you. We'll bring that to you here in just a few moments. A drunken fact is something you can pass along next time you're at a party, people are drinking, you want to drop some knowledge, come across like someone who knows things. One of my favorite shirts says, "That's what I do. I smoke cigars and I know things."
That's right.
Yeah, and so if you're that kind of person, we'll have a good drunken fact for you to drop on people. And here's the teaser headline for the drunken fact. I fought in the war. It was a tough battle. We fought in the trenches. I was killed.
Wow. Sounds like a full story right there.
I had an uncle that used to say that. That's where I borrowed that from.
It's like a good
No,
bite
actually, that I stole that from a comedy routine by Kevin Pollak.
Oh, it sounds like something from King of the Hill.
Yeah,
the grandpa on King of the Hill.
It kind of does. Yeah,
got my shins blown off.
Yeah, that's right.
I was fighting for Texas.
You do that voice pretty well, Terry. That's good. Well, welcome to the show. My name is Cruz. My co-host is Ian Barry. We have Terry on the Wheels of Steel producing the program, and of course, Chris Collins is our guest. So we're going to enjoy some beverages today. Talk a little bit about cigars. There's good cigar news. Another legal win that I've been promising to tell you about, but bad news right on the heels of that because we can't have nice things.
Well, cigars are the government and the public's whipping boys.
That's right. So good news, a cigar legal win has taken place federally, but at the same time, New York State has now introduced one of those generational tobacco ban bills.
That's outrageous.
It's not law yet, but remember we talked about this in
England
the UK.
did that.
Yeah, and it's like so basically,
if they just don't want kids to buy cigars, all they have to do is wait. And when they grow up, there's not going to be any laws because no kids know what a cigar is today at all.
See, I'm going to make a prediction right now. We can come back and reference this in a few years and see if it was right. But I am predicting that anywhere that this generational tobacco ban bill passes, that smoking will actually increase, like cigarette smoking.
Well, here's the problem.
Because now they've made it kind of taboo,
Yeah.
so that makes it really cool for kids.
No. It's deeper than that. Here's the problem, okay? Tobacco is still legal.
Right.
Now it's illegal for you, but not for them.
Right.
I don't think that's going to fly in the United States.
Yeah,
they never
I
really
don't
did
think
good
it's
with the war on drugs. Yeah. How are they going to see results out of that? You're right.
You're exactly right. For all of the just say no
it's
stuff.
It's legal everywhere.
Drug use went up everywhere during that time.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see the same thing with smoking.
I think
smoking cigarettes had actually become much less cool over time.
Yeah.
A lot of, celebs were, vocal about the fact that they'd quit smoking and that, there was this general kind of understanding. It wasn't like, you can't do that. It was more like, if you want to, like, be, physically strong and some of those things, maybe you shouldn't, people were making
people saw people like George Harrison and
that,
Johnny Carson and Walt Disney all pass away from lung cancer,
cracks
and people
me
don't
up.
do that anymore.
It cracks me up seeing like footage from an old Tonight Show and Johnny is sitting at his desk
with a
hosting
cigar.
the show with a cigarette. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, now that I'm all grown up, I really do want the government to tell me what to do because I can't make my own decisions.
That's good to know.
That's just the way it is because how can I be trusted to make my own decisions? I mean, I can vote,
Yeah.
but I can't make other decisions for myself. I can drink,
Yeah.
but I certainly can't make decisions about tobacco.
Well, if you are old enough to smoke, if it hasn't been prohibited for you, we will tell you about some cigars to watch for. And if we have time to get to this, Cigar Aficionado has released another of their famous list that is entitled 15 Cigars You Should Be Smoking Right Now. So I love someone taking that literally, lighting 15 cigars and
Right
smoke,
once.
going back
Like
and
one of
forth
those
from one
old
to the other.
photographs you'd see of people that tried to put too many cigarettes or too many golf balls in their mouth.
Or even just like, when you go to a bar and they have all kinds of beers on tap, so you order a flight. I'd like a flight of cigars. Please light them all. Oh, that one's nice. Oh, this one's more full-bodied. That would work. So we should do that, by the way. A cigar flight. Next time we're on location somewhere.
That would be something.
Yeah. It was like, wait, no, that fourth cigar was mine, not yours, Ian. Keep your lips off that cigar.
It only counts as one cigar if I smoke all 5 at once.
That's right. And that's the way
Okay,
it works.
so strange things happening in public.
Yeah.
I'm literally at a car dealership. I'm standing outside with a cigar because I'm waiting on my truck to get serviced, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I light my cigar. I'm sitting out there for a couple minutes. This guy comes by. He's like, "Hey, man, can I get some of that?" I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" It's like, "Can I get some of that cigar?" I was like, "No, thank you."
Cigars are not joints. You don't
Yeah,
pass
dude.
them around.
No, I got my
think it was a
slobbery
blunt?
lips
I was
all
gonna
over
say,
the
those
end
are
of
called
this.
blunts.
Do you really want to put my slobbery cigar end in your mouth?
But they don't care when it's a joint,
How
but
bizarre.
apparently they do it when it's a cigar.
That's so weird to me. Like,
Yeah. I know. I'm with you.
That's.
I mean-
I don't know what
I
to
mean-
think about that. I don't think I'd accept that either.
You're a very good friend, and I will give you a cigar, but I will not give you the cigar I'm smoking.
that's true. That's the way it is.
Right. I mean, I'm happy to share, but not this one.
And that's the way I want it, by the way. I don't
Yes,
want-
exactly.
What's that song? I want it that way. That's right.
Like Steve Martin used to say, I thought of something important, but I forgot. And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember. I'm radioactive. Shake. All right. So we haven't gotten to anything in this segment, but that's okay because it's a long show.
There's more segments.
There's more segments. So we'll get to the beverage of mystery next, and the drunken fact, I think, should be in our next segment. So I will try to keep the segment straight this week, and we'll not have to go back and do a fill-in segment later. Thank you, Terry, for being the one who picked up on the fact that we kind of screwed that up last week. So, all right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back, and then the show will start for real. It's Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back. It is Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And we are heard around the world on great radio stations like KWAM AM 990 in Memphis, Tennessee, and KFNC FM 97.5 in Houston. Welcome back to the program. We have the cough buttons installed now, so that was Terry coughing, but you only heard it from our mics, not from
right.
his.
That's right.
It wasn't nearly as
Professional.
yeah, as stressful as it would have been had he just coughed right there on the mic. So our show features a few, sort of things that we do on a regular basis, and one of them is the beverage of mystery, and this is where one of us brings a beverage of some sort in. We taste it sight unseen, and the only person who knows what it is the person what brung it. Today, that is me, and it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for
The Beverage of Mystery.
So it's nice to be back in the studio so we can hear that. That had to be put in post the last few. I hope the camera was on Ian just then. I don't know if it was.
It's on
or not.
everybody, so yes, just look at
So-
Ian. It's
so
on everyone
the
right
look
now.
that came across your face when you, took a good noseful of the beverage of mystery was classic. Classic in its own way.
It's
We haven't even
you're still
tasted
smelling
it yet.
it.
We haven't even tasted it yet, and you guys
You're like
are
my
moaning
dog.
and groaning. Yeah,
It's like
That
it has
smells bad.
It has a horchata, but something
Yeah.
has gone a little bit wrong with it, right?
Does this smell infected to you? It's one of those things.
How old is this milk? Smell this.
Right.
Yeah, smell
taste it.
You smell
Taste
it.
it.
Smell my finger.
Smell the
Wow.
What's
It
wrong
also
with that?
smells
She's
like
smelling
something-
the glove.
glove.
Smells
Okay,
like
guys.
something that could be Christmassy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Yeah, this is like
But bad?
like a horchata eggnog or something.
You know I love
That's
you when I
almost
bring
exactly
this
right.
stuff. Ian was asking when I brought it in if it was milk, and it kind of looks like
it really does.
like a skim milk, maybe.
This
So
looks egregious. I'm not
all right.
sure what's
All
going
right.
on here.
take a sip. It can be a small one. It's okay. Be brave.
This is that Fear Factor moment.
Oh my God. See, here's the thing about this. This could be good,
This is from China.
but it's just not.
oh, it's horchata flavored Vicks. That's what it is, right? Instead of strawberry, there's green and red, but now they've got a new milky
Now they got
horchata
white.
flavored Vicks.
Vicks,
That's
yeah.
Green
exactly.
and red
Yep.
and white.
Yeah.
Yep,
And you can drink
exactly.
it or rub it on your chest if you have a cold.
Either
So-
one.
You know, okay.
Wow, with a hint of cinnamon.
It really does.
It's got that. It tastes like cinnamon red hots mixed into it.
Kind of does. Kind of does. You have a question
Wow.
for me, Ian?
His question is.
Yes. Dear God, what have you done?
I was going to say, his question is: you're saying someone actually bottled it or canned this and sold it?
It won't go away either.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that a beverage of mystery in your pocket, or are you just? I can't stop swallowing. Happy to see me. It's
I don't know how happy I am at this point, but
I'm trying to make it go the other way.
so today's beverage of mystery is a lesson in what happens when you take two things.
it does bad things to beer too. Oh God.
Oh no.
When you take two things that are inherently not good, and you put them together, and they form like Voltron to form something even worse than either of those two things were by themselves. This, my friend, is a Buzzballs horchata with Fireball.
Oh my god.
That's the cinnamon. That's the
Yeah,
cinnamon I
yeah,
tasted.
yeah.
Wow.
So it's not only not real whiskey, but it's not even. I don't think it's a real beverage. Actually, I think it's just. I saw this. We did a whole show
That
a while back with
cruel,
Buzzballs,
unusual punishment.
but I
is what
think
that
this
is.
one is new. And I
Oh,
think
it is new. I've
this-
not seen that ever.
This would have scored near the bottom of our Buzzballs extravaganza.
There was a chocolate one that actually scored a little higher than most.
They
Which
were
one was
good.
it?
It was most of the chocolate flavored ones. The ones that were espresso and chocolate flavored. Those were the ones that everyone actually seemed to kind of
See what
like.
you miss out on when you're not
I
here?
know.
Yeah.
We
Ian-
tried every flavor Buzzballs that we
Oh,
could get.
Ian, would
God.
you like
I'm
to
kind
ha-
of glad I missed that one.
Would you like to have mine? It barely touched my lips.
No.
You'll be okay. Yeah. So, yeah. No,
Can I
that's-
get some of that?
I got to tell you, that's not good. And again, we talked about this when we did the Buzzballs show. It's like there was a meeting, I guarantee you, at the
Oh.
Buzzballs company.
Oh, the belch is even
Where,
worse.
yeah, well, that's just to get you back for the malt liquor show, where you brought me all that malt liquor.
I feel like that may even get him back for the Malort.
It might. It might.
The barrel aged Malort.
I'm going to go on record right now as saying, if I had to drink this or Malort, I'm pretty sure I would go Malort.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
tough.
that'll tell you something about how truly heinous this is. It's not a. It's so heinous
And
that it
again,
took up the
like,
whole
I hate to-
segment.
I hate to bring this up yet again. There had to be a panel of people going,
Yeah.
yes, that's the flavor we're looking
Right.
for.
Yeah, but
Can
if they're
you-
drinking those all day, do you expect them to make good decisions?
Oh, jeez. Well, yes.
But can you
point
imagine?
taken.
Think
Point taken,
about
my
this.
friend.
In that meeting, they probably brought in 4 or 5 different samples, and those were rejected for this.
Oh my god.
Now think about what those others must have tasted like.
Cilantro lime.
Yeah. All right.
Which poor bastard went blind in one eye?
All right. Tell you what, we'll have what is looking like it might be a good beer, the German style Pilsner called Tom's Pils from Back Pew Brewing Company. We'll
I
do
haven't
that.
had a bad thing from Back Pew, so I'm
That-
looking forward
I'm
to
feeling
this.
good. Hopefully, it'll wash that away. We will be right back. Is Drano a good palate cleanser? I'm just wondering. We'll be right back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back to the program. It is Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars.
I love those
And
things.
I would just mention that, most of the time when we come in to do the show, we have no plan whatsoever. Today we have things. We have stuff going on. it's very exciting to be here when there's an actual show happening, and that's kind of what. So you've tuned in for a good one, folks. It's 490.
We didn't just show up to drink today.
That's right. Well, actually, we did. That's what's going to make it a good show. So, but before we get to a little more drinking, let's do the drunken fact, Terry.
And now it's time for another smoking and toasting drunken fact.
So I'll just mention before we get into the drunken fact that I found out this last week that my father actually listened to a show.
What?
He listened to the show. My father doesn't smoke or drink. Yeah, right? And he actually listened to our barrel pick show when we were doing the barrel pick with all the, guests that had the good palates and everything. And the only thing I could think of was, Dad, did you like the fanfare on the drunken fact? Did you like that? So
that's what's important.
The drunken fact is where we bring you a fact that is ostensibly, we believe it to be true because we found it on the internet, and everybody knows that's the source of all wisdom and knowledge. Second, really, only to Wikipedia. And so we have a true fact here for you that you can drop like a nugget of knowledge next time you're at a party and everybody's drinking, and you want to impress some young lady or something, and come across like you know things. Here's a fact for you. You ready? In 1923, a jockey suffered a fatal heart attack mid-race. His horse finished and won the race, making him the first and only jockey to win a race while deceased in the history of horse racing.
Well, I think he deserves...
Still gets credit.
Yeah. Can you imagine, though? I mean, that must have been an incredible horse.
That horse must have loved him.
Yeah.
Would do it for him no matter what.
Win one for the Gipper.
So would you say he's a dead ringer?
He's you probably wouldn't, but I totally would. I would say that. I would totally say that. So
The horse was like, I think it's dead, get it off.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I bet it made that ceremony, where they gather around with the horse and the winner and the people who sponsor the race and they're handing him the prize. I bet it made that really awkward.
Well, I think what they did, I feel like they just weekended at Bernie's, Tim. Put some sunglasses on him. One guy got on the other. Jonathan Silverman got on one side.
And by the way,
They spritzed the dead guy with champagne.
that works, by the way. And I know this because I saw the Beach Boys, and I'm pretty sure Mike Love was deceased and being held up with a stick during the show. He didn't move a lot. Maybe only swayed with the wind a little bit.
Weekend at Beach Boys, too.
Yeah, that's right.
Put a fan on him, we'll make it look like he's moving.
Yeah. Help me, Rhonda. I'm dead.
I like that they got 2 movies out of that, too.
Yeah, well, it's Hollywood. You can expect that. Ian has poured us our first beer. This is actually one that I brought in, and I don't know anything about it other than it comes from Back Pew Brewing Company, which is a brewery here in the greater Houston area that has had a really consistent run of great beers.
It's a Pilsner fit for a German who, by the way of Pennsylvania, has made it to Texas.
Oh, okay.
Flavorful malt biscuit is bright and clean with traditional
I met that guy the other day at the World Cup.
Hops,
Yeah.
aromatics for all-day drinking affair. Prost.
Yeah, well, I have lived in both Philadelphia and Houston and Texas, and I can tell you that there are large German populations. If you go to New Braunfels, Texas, it's like almost all Germans
Yes.
there. It's like it's like a German enclave, and of course Philadelphia it's a melting pot. You've got every ethnicity there. So the German brewing tradition is strong. In fact, Ian brought, just as a show beer, he brought the traditional lager from Yuengling, which we had, before the show started. Mine's empty now. But that is, to me, a very German lager, the
Yes.
Yuengling lager. It's got hints of that. So
Very, very straightforward, very simple,
it'll be interesting
but
to
quite
see.
delicious.
It'll be interesting to see what Back Pew did with a traditional German lager.
This is more German.
Right, because it's got a little more of that upfront malt.
And a little bitterness up front, too, that it's really good. The malt profile is really nice.
Why am I immediately craving a pretzel?
It has a very pretzel-y kind of note to it as well. Yes.
It does. Almost it has that that dust on the pretzel. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Is that that wheat dust flavor.
What kind of beers do you usually enjoy, Chris?
Oh, well, my all-time favorite is going to be Eighth Wonder, which is a cream style ale. It's the only cream style ale I've ever liked, though.
The Buckle Bunny?
No, it's
I'm sorry.
Dome Foam. Is the
Oh,
name.
Dome Foam. Yeah, I
Yep.
was thinking Eureka Heights. I'm sorry. Dome Foam is a great beer, though.
I really love it,
It
but
really
it's so
is.
hard to find outside of just going down to the brewery. But no, I love German. I like Pilsners. I like a couple of Kolsch style. But yeah, I mean, kind of.
So you're more into the lighter, crisper kind of beers.
Yeah.
And how does this one strike you?
It's fantastic. I
Yeah.
can taste the precision engineering.
Oh, I like that. I don't think we've ever said that about a beer. I like. Can
Very
I,
German.
Very
Can I
German.
use that on shows when you're
Oh,
not
yes,
here?
it's very German, yes.
I can taste the precision engineering. That is brilliant. I
It
love
is
it.
really good.
Yeah, actually, it is very good, very drinkable. It's straightforward but complex at the same time. Is kind of the way I would describe
I mean,
it.
and we have quite a few very German style breweries here in Texas. Allstat, Stetzy,
Stetzy is another
Voss,
one. Yeah, and there are plenty of other breweries that aren't as exclusively German style, but that make a really good German style, like this one from Back Pew. So
I do find it interesting when you walk into a place that is purely German style beers that it makes me giggle when I hear the people ask for an IPA.
yeah, IPA is definitely not a German
Nobody.
style beer.
But I'll take a Doppelbock.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you take me places. So it's just the way it is. I always ask, what IPAs do you have? And at Allstat, they kind of look at you funny when
They
you
do.
ask that.
They
Yeah.
do.
Which is
Allstat's funny.
fine.
Have you ever been to Allstat Brewery?
I have not.
Okay, so you're driving through the Texas country, right?
Yeah.
And on one side, you're driving past peaches and peach stands. You got wine and peaches and wine and Castle.
Oh, I think I passed there.
It
Where's
literally just shows right outside of Fredericksburg.
Kind of
Yes.
like the Hearst
Yeah.
Castle
I did pass
in,
by
it. Castle.
in
Right.
California.
That's the Allsted Brewery.
Yeah.
You're driving down
Wow.
Highway 1 and you look off to your left and there's an enormous castle where William Randolph Hearst lived.
Really?
Yeah. But so it's kind of like that. And by the way,
You know what they call that in France?
yeah,
Any road they're on.
I've made a decision, guys. When the show really hits the big time and we're rolling in money, I'm thinking I'm going to move into the country and eat me a lot of peaches.
Oh.
What do you
That's
think?
your
You
goal?
could be very close to Allstat
I
Brewery.
could, yeah, and I could head over to Allstat for beers. It'd be great.
There's a lot of presidents of the United States that did that.
There certainly are.
That's right.
The best line in that whole song is, "Peaches come from a can. They were put there by a man."
Millions of peaches.
A lot
Peaches
of people,
for me.
A lot of people thought that that the whole alternative rock explosion of the '90s was too brainy. And when anybody says that, I just point them immediately to "Peaches" by the Presidents of the United States of America. Although it's not their only brainy song, they've got a few others, but that one's probably my favorite. So our guest, Chris Collins, is a noted musician. He has.
He said noted musician.
But I was going for that. I'm glad you picked up on it. But Chris, you've had songs in your repertoire that are about the joys of enjoying a good whiskey
yes.
and
A nice cigar.
And what was the name of your first album?
First album was called Whiskey and Cigars.
Okay, so this is, you wonder, why do they have a musician on? That's why. That's why. We feel like you're a kindred spirit. I know you've got some new stuff. You want to share something with
I
us
would
here?
love to share
We have
something
time
with
in
you.
this segment,
Yes,
Terry?
we do. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right, so let's let him grab his guitar and his hat, because the hat is important.
The hat's
to
got some mojo. It's
it
just sitting there,
completes-
and I can feel the mojo flowing
and
off of it.
For those of you who are going, he should wear a cowboy hat. It's a Stetson.
It is a Stetson.
Yeah,
It's
so-
my first Stetson.
Yeah.
It's funny because I actually have a black hat similar to that, small brim,
Yeah.
and the rest of the band, they just kind of nod their head and go,
Yeah.
well, that's just that guy.
I have one.
But I grew up
similar
in
to-
Liberty. I'm country enough.
Yeah, I have one similar to that. It's a straw hat, and I like to put on a good Hawaiian shirt and that hat and go downstairs at my building and freak out the concierge. They're like, "Who is this guy?" They let anybody rent here. So, Chris Collins, what are you going to play for us?
I'm going to play a brand new song. This has not been broadcast anywhere. I played it a couple times at just private shows. Mm-hmm. I wrote this. I started it in 2016.
Oh,
And
well.
I was trying to get back on the road back then, and I just had the first verse, and I just kind of sat with it and never really got past it, but it kept coming back to me, just
Okay.
every other year or so. And this year when I started to get back on the road, and it's been a much more successful endeavor this time.
All right, I'm going to sip on a little of this back pew while you do this song. It'll be
Well,
good.
I ended up finishing it, and this is called Red Brick Streets of Lubbock Town.
Ooh, nice.
I hear the road, I hear it calling out my name. Them white lines, they blur together, and the nights, they do the same. She's an old lover of me and those who came before. Sometimes it's seeing an old lover to see you don't love her anymore. And that road rolls on like an asphalt river, 1,000,000 miles long. Round each bend I glimpse the golden glimmer of the hope that keeps me gone. Lost but for my dreams, busking with no crowd around, I found myself on the red brick streets of Lubbock Town. Lost a tire in Tarleton, lost a bet and my guitar in Abilene. I lost hours to flowers, days to the in-between, but I keep on driving toward the places only dreamers go. And it's somehow more familiar than any place I've been before. And that road rolls on like an asphalt river, 1,000,000 miles long. Round each bend I glimpse the golden glimmer of the hope that keeps me gone. Lost but for my dreams, busking with no crowd around, I found myself on the red brick streets of Lubbock Town. They say a dream without a plan is just a wish. Well, I ain't planning on wishing away all I've been given. 'Cause when that crowd sings back like a gospel choir, 1,000,000 voices strong, and there's more come to listen than a working in the kitchen, I'll know I wasn't wrong. Lost but for my dreams, busking without a soul around, I found myself on the red brick streets of Lubbock Town. I hear the road, I hear it calling out my name.
That's awesome.
That's
I love.
beautiful.
Now you mentioned
I totally want to jam over that. too.
I know. I saw Ian pick up the ukulele and start putting his fingers on it for some chords. I was like,
no, I
don't,
can't
Don't
interrupt
do
it.
it.
I
Don't
shut
do
the
it.
mic off. I was just like,
Okay, thank you, Jared. Thank you, Jared. No.
So beautiful.
So is that something that you will have available for people to stream and listen to at some
That
point?
will be, yes, I'm going to be recording that next. Probably, well, we're still working it out, but it should be in the fall this year. That'll be getting recorded. I do have 2 new singles coming out, and I can play one of those later if you'd like.
Okay, yeah, love for you too.
You have 2 albums out right now, right?
2 albums
2 full
out.
albums.
One's called Whiskey and Cigars.
One's called Whiskey and Cigars. The
I
other
love
one's
it.
called the Lonesome Soul EP.
Yeah.
And they're available everywhere except for Apple Music for some stupid reason.
Wow.
But I'm getting that fixed. They
Okay.
will be up very soon. They were there for years, and then they got taken down. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
It's a dispute with my distributor. But they're
wow.
everywhere else, Spotify, YouTube, all the Amazon Music.
And how do you spell your name so people can find you? Search.
K-R-I-S Collins.
Okay,
Collins.
K-R-I-S. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Very
Thank
good.
you.
Well, I love that, and it's like it immediately, paints the picture in your mind, which is what I like about it so much. Now, I know musicians hate this when you ask this question, so I'm going to ask it.
Yeah.
How would you classify your music? Is it country? Is it Americana? If you had to give it a label, if I had a gun to your head and said, tell me what your music is or you're done.
Okay, so the standard answer is soul-infused or blues-infused Texas soul
Ooh, I
is
like
what
that.
I call it.
I
But
like that.
just, for the general listener, Americana, folk. I really stayed away from the country label for so long, but at the end of the day, I do sound like this.
And
So Texas singer-songwriter as a blanket statement
yeah,
is kind of its own thing, and it has a lot of influence. It's not country.
Well, if you look
but
at-
it's got
yeah.
country in it. It's
Well,
not
you
folk,
look at somebody
but it's got
like
folk in it.
somebody like a Hayes Carl or somebody
Yeah.
like that. I mean, are they?
I just saw him
Are they
recently. He was
really
awesome.
country? They're not really country,
Not
are
really.
they? No, yeah. So,
really,
but
yeah.
I did just release a country single in January. It's
Oh.
called "I'm Nobody" and it's everywhere. So
I
please listen to that.
I love it. All right.
Nice.
All right. So we are going to take a break. We still have a lot to do. We got to find out what Ian had to smoke this week. And I think we have another beer we're going to try. And it is somewhere in the neighborhood
do
of
we.
like 48%. So we'll be looking forward to that. And it may be the last thing we do on the show. We'll be right back. It's Smoking and Toasted. That was really well done all the way through.
That whole, I don't have that bad of an aim, but you got to do this thing. That's
Yeah.
called what I call engagement drama.
That's exactly
Right?
right.
Like that's so you can feel me
What do
engaging the beer.
What do they call those in movies? The Foley artist. You're like the Foley artist of the show, creating those sound effects. You're backstage with clumping two coconuts together for the sound of a horse.
Horse, yes, exactly.
That's right.
Which
I remember
which
Foley's.
reminds me so much of Monty Python, and I just saw over the weekend watch Mojo video of the top 20 most quotable lines from Monty Python. It's brilliant. It's one of the best 20 minutes that you'll ever spend if you.
Was the parrot in there?
Oh yes, absolutely, it was in there.
What about Crunchy Frog? It's been lightly killed.
Yeah. I don't think Crunchy Frog made it,
I don't
but
know why that's so funny. to me.
Lightly killed.
but
Lightly killed.
But what did make it, and you know it would, was I fought in your general direction.
Yes,
General
yes.
direction.
I'm not dead yet.
All
The
right,
fact
so
that my kids know that is just shows that
Turned
they're
me into
being
a newt.
yeah, so that was in there too.
I got better.
It was. I got better. Cleese is a genius. He is a genius.
Amazing.
They're all amazing, but Cleese is a genius.
Can I tell you guys about a Hoya de Nicaragua Classico?
You can if you will allow Chris to pass those beers
I'm
around.
still
so
kind
we
of
can-
pouring them,
Oh,
actually,
okay,
because
well,
they're all foamy.
All right, so tell me about a Hoya de Nicaragua Classico.
Well, this is in particular the Classico original
Uh-huh.
Green Room edition.
Oh, green room. What does that mean?
So this is dedicated to the back when the presidents used to meet in the green room. Presidents and their staff used to meet in the green room,
And eat
that's
a
where
lot
they
of
would-
peaches?
That's where they would smoke cigars.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Is this in the White House or something?
Yes, in the White House.
So the
green
White
room.
I
House had a
haven't
green
seen
room.
Trump
Okay.
use it lately, so that's why I guess I don't know about it.
So this is the
But it's huge.
It's huge. It's going to be the best green room.
It's green room selection.
It's the most
This is a
green.
diadema coming in at 6x54 diadema. Just so you know, is basically a perfecto,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful cigar. It's shade-grown Connecticut seed Ecuadorian wrapper with a Nicaraguan binder, Nicaraguan filler. The perfecto shape is cappuccino in color.
Oh, nice.
The wrapper, very few veins, somewhat oily, single band, very firm feel overall. Pre-light sniff on this sweet, creamy coffee, barnyard, slightly spicy at the cap. I used a clip, had a light draw to it, sweet, creamy coffee, earth, and leather on the lips. The initial light, Nicaraguan pepper, candy blast.
Nice.
Dang,
Candy.
I want one.
That's
It was
that's
really
a thing.
good.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It was
really.
like sweet, but it wasn't really so much of a blast. Really, it was a lot of pepper, but sweet on top of that.
But I don't think I've heard a cigar, described that way. So that's really unique.
So spicy, underlying sweet coffee. Retro Hell is spicy and woody with sweet coffee. Awkward burn.
oh,
Now keep in mind this is a perfecto, so it started as a little tiny
right.
end, right?
Mm-hmm.
I lit it, and it started burning at about 45 to 60 degrees.
So kind of a canoeing from the start,
it's
right?
just like if you sliced it sideways, like the way they
Okay.
slice,
And that does
sausage at
happen
the
sometimes with
barbecue
those
places.
perfectos that go down to the little, nipple foot, basically. So,
So I tended to burn. This is the first third of the cigar. Now the pepper is more than present, leaving leaving a little room in the palate for a little else. Although this is a mild-ish cigar, as it settles in, breaks in a cloud of pepper and wood. I get sweet, creamy coffee, classic humidor, That's about all I can think of. Classic humidor, by the way. Like, you know that
Humidor. Yeah,
nose
that
you get
humidor
when-
smell. Yeah.
Classic humidor. And an
I
ever
like
so
that.
slight minty note. Burn is still 45-degree angle. The retro halo is sweet and spicy with cedar and sweet cream, solid ash, awkward burn. Proposed pairing, like a summer ale or a mezcal, actually, I thought would go really well with this particular
we
cigar.
have
Yes.
one today. So.
The second third of this, I tend to the burn, settling into a spicy, not quite medium strength. Coffee and cedar become more prominent, along with earth and tangy leather. Somewhat vegetal and slightly floral notes weave in and out and find their place amongst the growing complexity. The burn is finally evening out. Retro Hail is spicy and sweet with wood and a kiss of mint. Solid ash, better burn.
Okay.
Last third of the cigar comes in. Although riding the line between mild and medium and an overall classic cigar kind of flavor profile, the Classico Original Green Room still manages to be complex. Tangy leather and rich earth ramp up in the last third of this. Retro Hill is sweet, spicy, and cedar solid ash. Good, although slightly slanted burn.
Okay.
Price to quality. This is a $14 cigar.
Oh wow. So well, tell me what you thought of your overall price to quality, and then I want to ask if that kind of slanted burn impacted
So
your
I
score.
probably would have bumped it up a half a point, or maybe even a full point if I
it
didn't
burned
have
more
the,
cleanly. Yeah.
If I didn't have the burn issue.
Yeah.
But the burn issue was really not that big a deal. It just burned crooked
Right.
and kept burning crooked
But
until
it
it didn't.
burned. Yeah. Right.
Right, so it never burned wrong. It never burned too hot or anything. So I didn't dock it too much, but I give it a 5. You're getting what you're paying for.
Okay,
you get a
at
great
10
cigar
at $10, yeah.
at $10.
All right,
you
good.
get a great cigar at $10. And oddly enough, it's so big a flavor for coming into a medium mild cigar, which is
Yeah,
strange because
right.
and it has more spice than you would think
For a
but
medium to
still
mild,
comes
yeah.
across medium and mild. So
Yeah.
very strange
So
on those fronts.
I'll tell you about my cigar in the second hour of the show, but I'll tell you what it was. I smoked a Kristoff GC Signature Series Robusto, so I'm looking forward to telling you about that. First, though, we should talk about this beer. Ian poured it at the beginning of the segment. What is this, Ian, that is...
Camille Golden Strong Ale with Texas-grown Marsanne and Mourvedre grapes. I don't know. I'm probably saying it completely wrong. Dry hopped with Citra, Nelson Sauvin, and Superdelic.
So it's so interesting. Right as you said grape, it hit my palate, and there is almost a wine-like characteristic kind of in the middle of the palate on
The
this.
aftertaste on this is grape skin.
In the best possible way.
Yes.
Hey, do you
It's-
know where I can find? I really love those grapes that you buy, and I think they're the kind you're more likely to make wine out of. But they still have the seeds in the middle, but they're surrounded by this kind of like almost gelatin type of thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like it's not just a grape that's the same consistency all the way through. Okay, you guys are looking at me like I'm nuts. I've had these before,
You are
and
nuts.
they're wonderful, but I can't find them. Like I don't know where to find it.
I've had the cotton candy flavored grapes. That
Oh,
they
those
have.
are great.
Those are really good.
Are they really?
Yes, they're absolutely amazing.
That sounds
They sell
horrible.
them at like
So-
Costco and stuff. They're really good.
Okay.
It doesn't sound great, but when you eat them,
Oh, my wife buys those all the time.
This beer tastes great.
So
This has a great
just outside
flavor.
of San Marcos, Texas, my wife and I went to New Braunfels over last weekend for our anniversary. We camped out there at a really nice camp RV resort. And we went around on one day and we went to a couple different breweries, and this was one of them. This brewery blew my mind.
Oh, cool.
Roughhouse Brewing. And so what's funny is we found a brewery, and also kudos to Middleton Brewery. Middleton Brewery is out in the country off the Devil's Backbone is what they call it. And then and it's right at the corner of FM, God only knows what, and Devil's Backbone. And you stop there, and it's a beautiful little brewery. They have nice beers and everything. The people there are super nice. And then my wife, while we're sitting there and I'm smoking a cigar, she goes, "Hey, there's a brewery literally right down this little lonely road."
Oh, love it.
And
Love
it looks like the kind of road where we turn on it and like, I suppose you're wondering why I'm bringing you out here. We're just going for a country drive.
Didn't get to do this while we were
and then we
dating.
end up at
you
this
pass
place
the
called
gas station in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah.
and then we end up at this place called Roughhouse Brewing, and it is beautiful. And I walk in, and the beers are so amazingly good.
Well, and you're in the neighborhood of one of my all-time favorites, which is that Guadalupe Brewing is
And
in
I
that
love
same-
Guadalupe Brewing.
That's in that
'cause I've
same
been
general
there.
area.
This
So
brewery blew my mind.
This sounds like a great place to do a little pub crawl.
So
doesn't it?
we're going to be, I'm going to try and get a hold of them because not only that, but they have a cave that they age beer in.
I love this.
A cave on their
A
property.
cave. That's
That
awesome.
they had dug out and aged beer. We're going to try and get them on so they can talk about all this.
So this has got, in addition to that grape skin thing you were talking about, it's got some spice to it, and not like peppery spice. It's more like I don't know, the kind of spices you might use when you're making a pie or something.
I was unfortunately they didn't have it in cans, but my wife got a hazy IPA. First off, my wife never orders an IPA,
Yeah, and what you think?
especially a hazy one. She
Yeah.
went in and bought one
Oh,
after tasting it.
wow!
It was amazing. I wanted to bring it home to you,
I got to try this place, but yeah, they didn't.
but
have
they
it
didn't have it in cans.
Oh,
it was
man.
unbelievable.
All right, well, it sounds like a road trip is in
But
order.
I did buy these two big beers that they had, and they're
Yeah.
both like. Wait till you get the next one too.
Wonderful. All right, we're going to take a break. We will be back in hour 2. I'll tell you about my cigar. We'll have some more music from Chris Collins, and that thing called Drinking News will be in hour 2. We'll be right back. Wow, that was good. That was a good one.
That was amazing.
That was a really, really good one. Welcome back to hour 2. It's Smoking and Toasting, show number 490, and we are so glad you're here. We are going to get to this. I promise we will not leave you hanging. We will get to this this article from Vine Pair about the one whiskey you should bring back from every state. But right now, while Ian is pouring Mezcal and Chris is getting ready to bring us another song, let me tell you about the cigar I smoked this week. Kristoff is an interesting cigar company to me. Their emphasis seems to be on blending, using tobaccos from different locales around the world in interesting and unusual, maybe, combinations. So the cigar I smoked this week, the Kristoff GC Signature Series Robusto, is a good example of this. It uses a Brazilian Maduro wrapper, a Honduran binder, and then fillers from Honduras, the Dominican Republic, and Nicaragua, all from Cuban seed. The GC on the Kristoff GC Signature Series stands for Glenn Case. He is the owner of Kristoff Cigars, and this is reportedly his favorite blend in their lineup. And I don't know if you've paid attention to Kristoff or not. They got a lot of blends in their lineup.
They got a lot of cigars.
So this is his
I will
favorite.
tell you though, they're straight up original Maduro.
Great stuff.
Great. Also, they have one called a Pissed Off Kristoff, which is
Yes,
fantastic.
love that. Well, this Robusto had an interesting look. The wrapper was deep brown, a little mottled and veiny, but it had an oily sheen to it that was incredibly inviting. It was 5.5 by 34. It was almost like a smaller Toro with a pigtail cap and a brown and gold Kristoff band. I'm not a huge fan of pigtail caps. I love the way they look, but unless I just don't have a cutter around, and I always have a cutter around, I don't usually twist them off to open up the cigar. I've done that a few times and ended up with a really ragged peeling
always cut them.
surface.
Always cut them.
On the head of the cigar. So I use my trusty V cutter and just slice the pigtail right off, leaving a nice crisp incision. No, not a lot of complexity noticeable on the pre-light sniff, but there was a really nice touch of Maduro sweetness and aged tobacco on the cold draw. Once I added fire to the equation, though, the flavors came rolling in with a passion. Rich, deep notes of molasses, chocolate, and oak showed up in a big way in the first third, along with oak. I think I mentioned oak, so it showed up twice.
And chocolate.
And a nice blend of spices on the finish. The draw was open and perfect, and the construction seemed quite good, even though the burn was a little jagged. Good
construction.
Second, third, I like that, by the way, doing that sort of a shadow emphasis. I like it. Second, third saw a little bit of pepper creeping into the profile, which I was quite happy with. Smoke was thick and chewy, which is a word that I've noticed that cigar reviewers tend to use.
Creeping pepper.
Personally, I have never chewed smoke, but I'll just go with their description. By the final third, the pepper had ramped up a bit. It was creeping. Chocolate and a rich earth note joined the party, and I was convinced I'd found a new cigar to make sure was in my humidor rotation. Flavors were complex and varied, showing subtle nuances in the way they interacted with each other and kept my palate happy and wanting more. The Kristoff GC Signature Series Robusto started out medium-bodied and climbed a notch or two to medium to full by the time the nub had started to burn my fingers. Suggested pairing?
Nub was burning.
A nice, complex bourbon wins the day here, like a Hunter and Scott or Eagle Rare. It is very difficult to go wrong with Eagle Rare. Bottom line, line, I loved this cigar. The flavor, complexity, the tingling buzz on the palate, all things that I love and look for in a smoke. The Kristoff G-Seek Signature Series Robusto is a $9 to $10 cigar, although I did pick this one up on sale for significantly less. But even at $10, this baby delivers. Price to quality, at $10, a solid 5. Grab it for less than that, and it's happy, happy, joy, joy time. So, Kristoff GC Signature Series rocked. And I will also mention, it's a Robusto, but it's smoked for like almost 2 hours. Like it really, it smoked slow and clean, and it was really an enjoyable time. Yeah. My wife was gone. I started doing the cigar review and jotting down my notes. She came home and I was still smoking. It was like, it's like awesome. I said, "Yeah, I'm almost done here. Give me a few minutes, And but anyway,
that cigar was like the last 5 minutes of a football game.
That's right.
American football, just to be clear, since it's World Cup.
Yeah. I'm totally going to start a YouTube channel called The Last 5 Minutes, and it's going to be the last 5 minutes of football games and basketball games.
Yeah.
And because basketball, really, unless your team is ahead by 30 points, it's all about the last 5 minutes. Yeah. And the last 5 minutes can last like an hour.
Yeah.
I do love basketball games, but my thing is I'll start at halftime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. I'm totally with you. Totally with you. So Chris Collins is here. We became acquainted with him when he released an album that was all about whiskey and cigars. But
it's very close to my heart.
We love his music no matter what it's about. And you've got some new things that are out, right?
So I do have a new song. This one I finished back in May. And I thought it was done, and then I performed it live, and I added one little touch at the end that just made it extra special.
What's it called?
This is called 30-Day Chip.
We're going to.
And I know on a show like this, that could have a negative connotation.
Okay.
However, this is not about drinking. Drinking was never my issue, so nobody should feel judged.
Okay.
I had an issue with another substance.
So
I'm in recovery.
It's okay then if we drink
Oh,
mezcal
100%.
while
I'm
listening
drinking
to
it.
this. Okay. All right. That's good. So here we go. 30-Day Chip.
All right. Quitting is easy. I've done it 1,000 times. Stay and quit is the part I never seem to get right. Starting over, well, that sounds dignified. Can't tell if I'm addicted to the failure or the fight. Have you ever had to give back your 30-day chip on account of a lie about the day you slipped? Truth be told, I guess I'm not ready to quit. Have you ever had to give back your 30-day chip? I let down everyone from time to time. I let down myself most every night. That I run to the past, reach for a glass, nowhere near ready to fight. And on days when I've given up, I throw in the towel for the opening bell. But when I'm ready, there'll be a chair in a circle waiting for my story to tell. Have you ever had to give back your 30-day chip on account of a lie about the day you slipped? Truth be told, I guess I'm not ready to quit. Have you ever had to give back your 30-day chip? Have you ever had to give back your 30-day chip? Well, I don't want to go back. Never want to go back. I don't want to be the same old angry, broken man I've been. But I need something strong, some kind of hope to hold on to, so on day 31, I'll never have to say again. Have you ever had to give back your 30-day chip on account of a lie about the day you slipped. Truth be told, I guess I'm not ready to quit. Have you ever had to give back your 30-day chip? Truth be told, my name is Chris, and I'm an addict. And I don't want to give back my 30-day chip. Never want to give back my 30-day chip again. God help me get back my 30-day chip.
That's very moving. I like that a lot. Very, very nice. It reminds me of the feeling that I got, and my wife, hipped me to both of these things. Reminds me of the feeling that I got when I both read the book and listened to the album of Heroin Diaries by Nikki Sixx. It is a moving and wonderful book. You do not have to be a Motley Crue fan.
No.
To enjoy that and get a lot out of it, and the album, the 6 a.m. album, Heroin Diaries, is a companion to the book, and it's the best thing he's ever been a part of musically, in my opinion. But it moves you in the same way that did, and I thought that was
That's heavy,
really,
man.
Yeah, really awesome.
Sorry about that.
Really,
No, in the best possible
Thanks for
way.
bringing us all down, dude. No. And, so let me ask you about this, because I know a lot of people that are, going through recovery.
Right.
They're not able to, let's say, drink alcohol
Right.
if they're recovering from an addiction to something else. And yet other people are. What do you think that's about, as someone who's been there?
I think it's about risk factors.
Yeah?
I think it's just about, for me, thankfully, alcohol never was a problem. I didn't start drinking. This is the absolute truth, till I was 28 years old. I was just a very good boy, goody two-shoes, never wanted to touch it because I had a bad experience at 15. It's the only other time I got drunk, and it was awful. And I was like, I will never do that again. And then 28, life got rough. I started hanging out with different friends. They would go to a bar. I'd have a drink or two. But again, it was never
what you struggled with.
No, never at all.
Interesting.
And in fact, what I struggled with is something that a lot of people struggle with, but it's legal in most states now. But it's just something that's just been a real time suck, a motivational suck, and I just decided I needed to get free of it.
Well, it's really interesting to me because I think every person is different. There are some people that, if they're trying to get clean and get their 30-day chip
Right.
from a substance, let's say,
Right.
Alcohol is almost like a gateway back to that for them, and they can't drink as well. But you're saying, that was not the case.
I had
for
a
you.
buddy of mine one time, and I asked him, I was like, so why do you not drink? And he goes, well, it's the same kind of thing. He's like, drinking was never a problem, but the problem is I drink that, then I want to go,
do something else. Yeah.
Yes, it leads to that other thing. Like then the bad decision starts happening. So I think it's different for different people.
Yeah, it's kind of a personal thing. That's fascinating. It's a very moving song. Like you could feel it just like right here, and it kind of brought the whole thing down. So I think we're going to have to do drinking news in a couple of segments just to try to pick the vibe back up.
I've got a happier song. If there's more time for another one.
We'll do that to close things out. Terry, how are we doing on time in this segment?
We're about wrapping it up.
About wrapping it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
about time to wrap
so
it up.
in the next segment, we're going to talk a little bit more about this mezcal, because this is a really interesting mezcal to me. It did not strike me on the first sip the way I was expecting. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And I want to go to this article from VinePair about the one whiskey you should bring back if you're visiting a particular United States state. And so, Ian, you can pick the state, and I'll tell you what VinePair said.
All right.
All right. So we'll do that coming up next, and we'll talk mezcal, because we got to talk about this. It's next. It's Smoking and
I
Toasting.
noticed you didn't talk about your pour this time.
My poor. Welcome back. It is Smoking and Toasting. I love that. We are all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And let's talk spirits for a minute because this is a very different... The Wahaka Mezcal, which is what we're tasting today. It comes from Oxaca, Mexico. This is a little different than some of the other mezcals that we've had. For my first impression of it was the smoke doesn't hit you until much later, like almost like on the finish. And what you're getting up front is a little, I don't know, citrusy. There's some things going on.
Oh, there's
here that
very citrusy.
Very interesting.
There's quite a bit of vanilla and citrus in this, but this like almost starts on the palate like a tequila, but then immediately separates, becomes citrusy.
Right.
And
then here comes the smoke. Right.
And then the smoke happens. There's a lot of things going on.
Kind of worms its way in.
Yeah.
It does kind of worm its way in. It says,
I was just about to say the reason that it's got
Wahaka
that
Mezcal
vanilla.
is an artisanal small batch mezcal produced by Alberto Morales, a fifth-generation maestro mezcalero in San Dionisio, Octepec, Oaxaca. Our products are 100% agave. This is easy for me to say, right?
All right, now say,
You want to do that?
now say Tamaulipas.
The
one day we don't have Roberto with us.
Dua Lipa. I will just say you have never sounded more white than you sound right now.
Hola, mis amigos. Our products are 100% agave and made using sustainable, natural methods passed down through generations. The spirit of Oaxaca, Alberto Morales, Maestro Mezcalero with a worm.
It strikes me listening to you read that it wasn't just the words in Spanish you were having trouble with. So
My name is Jeff.
I'm going to question how much of this Oaxaca you've had.
Oaxaca.
So we have to show the worm because this is mezcal and it does have a worm in the bottom. Which camera is he on?
Yeah, there it is.
There you go. It does have a worm in the bottom, which I think is responsible for that vanilla note.
That's right. Worm. The worm brings the vanilla.
Equals vanilla, and it's why we love the worm. We do. We love the worm. That was very good.
Remember when we were at Copperhead Brewing last, and I turned around and spilled out some of my beer, and you guys were like, "What's going on?" I was just getting the fly out.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have drank it. I don't know.
Maybe
It's very worm and inviting.
I don't remember. I don't remember much about that trip. Something.
He said it was warm and inviting.
Yeah.
I remember the aftermath.
I think this is delicious, and it's a little more mellow than some of the mezcals that we've had. Wouldn't you say? Like it strikes
This drinks
really mellow on
a
the
little
palate.
more mellow. Yes.
Yeah.
Man, mezcal. There's a mezcal bar not too far from where I work on Thursday nights, and
it's only there on Thursday nights.
How convenient.
and actually, it only opens up on like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
There you go.
Yeah. Nobody drinks mezcal on
No,
Sunday
no.
through Tuesday.
There's no such thing as Mezcal Monday. That's just
They
not a
tried
thing.
that. It was a failure of a promotion. Yeah.
Taco Tuesday caught on. Mezcal Monday not so much. It doesn't make a good T-shirt.
Yeah. But Webayana Wednesday, that was big.
Right.
That was
But,
big. It was like 7.5 feet
And so I
tall.
go over there, and the bartender over there, she's lovely. She just loves to, like, hey, try this one and try this one. Keep in mind, price can be a factor. Mm-hmm. And if you ask her, do you have something really funky? She has some incredibly funky mezcals because they can be.
They exist, yes.
And
for
this
sure.
is the opposite of that. This is
It's
so
very
approachable.
Yeah, for sure.
This has so many like. If you're a tequila fan, you're gonna probably like this approach because it's got the vanilla. It's got you can taste obviously the agave, but it's got the vanilla and it's got the citrusy kind of notes to it, and then a little smoke behind it.
Tequila is my favorite spirit, and I have been enjoying different mezcals. But this one really appeals to me because of how much I like
I
tequila.
think if I had a spirit animal, it'd probably be a bear, not a tequila, but whatever.
Your spirit animal is a bear?
I think so.
No.
Or a bull.
My spirit animal's an eagle. Rare, but it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Nice.
I'm just thinking that maybe your spirit animal is why Matt Booth liked you so much.
Matt Booth is a beautiful person.
I love him. He's great. Speaking of beautiful, there's a beautiful article in Vine Pair, and I'm going to encourage you to go to this and read it, especially if you're going to be traveling like you are, because it recommends the one whiskey you've got to bring home from every state. So, Ian, I thought you could maybe throw out a state, and I'd find it on the list and tell you what the whiskey was. So,
all right,
I'm taking notes.
There's no reason to know this, but I got to know Idaho. I mean,
The
when I
least
use
whiskey state
I don't
in
think
existence.
of whiskey when I think Idaho, so I'm just going to put that one out there.
Could be vodka, potatoes.
Okay, so here's what the article says. Idaho doesn't boast a lot of bourbon producers.
Well,
But it is quickly becoming, they say, a haven for American single malt. And they recommend Warfield Distillery Idaho Highlands American Single Malt Whiskey.
Interesting,
And one of the
okay.
reasons that I really liked this article was because, for the most part, I'd never heard of most of these. So I'm like, this could be a cool thing to discover.
let's go with some places where they're a little adjacent
They're
to
whiskey
where you would
adjacent?
expect, was like Mississippi, for instance.
All right, let me scroll down to the M's. Maryland,
Like
Massachusetts,
this is next
Michigan,
to where whiskey
Minnesota,
is made, right?
Mississippi. They are saying the one you want to look for is Old Soul Bourbon. Old Soul. Rich Grain Distilling, back in 2017, made history with Mississippi's first ever legally made bourbon. Sadly, that operation has gone under, though some of its whiskey has lived on through independent bottlings. Currently, there isn't exactly an abundance of in-state whiskey, but some dedicated producers are keeping Mississippi on the map, and one is Cathead Distillery,
Cathead.
makers of the Old Soul whiskey line.
So let's go with places where I know somebody that might be able to send me some. How
Okay.
about Minnesota?
Minnesota is not far from where I was. They are recommending Far North. Their bourbon is called Oaklawn Single Varietal Straight Rye Whiskey.
That sounds really lame, but I'd like to try it.
Yeah.
Quality House.
They said 2 years ago they included Quality House. Quality House was good.
You've had this before?
Last year,
we-
actually.
Quality House or
Quality
Far
House.
North?
He had the one you're talking about on
Yeah.
the list.
Well, so they say that Far North's bourbon was included on their 50 states list 2 years ago, but frankly, they say they're a little more excited about the rye lineup, which includes a single varietal series made from rare grains.
Gotcha. Okay, so what about Michigan?
Michigan. Yeah, you're a Michigan guy. Journeyman Distilling, and the name of the beverage is Corsets, Whips, and Whiskey. I'm buying it
Just for the
sight
name.
unseen.
Right?
Yeah, totally for the name.
All right,
But
let's go out to Arizona.
it's located in Three Oaks. Okay, I got to go back up to the top because this is all alphabetical.
He's
And
going to hate me.
Arizona, Whiskey Del Bac Ode, DEL, and then next word BAC, and then next word ODE. Mesquited, not peated, is their motto. Whiskey Del Bac. It's a cult classic American single malt producer. They forged their own path, they say, in smoke-influenced whiskey. Ode, ODE, was formerly known as their winter release, is one of their most celebrated and limited expressions.
All right, what you got?
Indiana.
Indiana. Well, you guys are naming some weird states. Not,
Well, I'll be traveling through there.
but
so
states that I don't know if I would.
I
have
figured
get.
I'd go in alphabetical order for you.
First of all, if you're traveling through Indiana and if you're in Indianapolis and you're approached by a
State trooper?
pretty woman who seems like she's a little off, that's my ex-wife. Run.
Run away.
But while you're there, you might enjoy some Starlight 10-year reserve bourbon whiskey. The article says Indiana's actually an epicenter of American whiskey.
I mean, Indiana's where MGP is, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what
Yeah,
they say
and
in the
MGP
article.
makes great whiskey.
So, but they say even though MGP owned Ross and Squibb is there, it's getting tough to ignore Starlight Distillery, a family-owned operation on a fifth-generation farm and winery. It's 20 minutes north of Louisville, so you're safe probably from my
Yeah.
ex-wife, and you're probably good. So I know we got to take a break, Terry. Maybe we'll do some more of these in the next
Yeah,
segment.
Connecticut would be good too, because we got people listening in
All
Connecticut.
right, so we'll get to that, and we'll get to drinking news coming up next. And I love this mezcal.
It's pretty drinkable.
It's really good. We will be right back. It is smoking and toasting, and right now we're toasting.
Back to the Price is Right.
I wanted to experience that feeling, because Ian always has such a satisfied look on his face when he makes a really good sound effect with the bottle, and so I wanted to see what that was like.
Okay, I don't want to, but now I feel like I have to. So you're saying that he always feels satisfied when he pulls it out?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Sorry, Mom.
And sorry to my dad, who apparently listens to the show now. You asked about Connecticut from this article for the one whiskey that you should buy.
WICC.
Yeah. They said get this bottle from Litchfield Distillery. It's their 5-year double-barreled bourbon whiskey. I like double-barreled. That
Lynchfield?
Litchfield.
Litchfield. See, this sounds like a real distillery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? And what state were you asking me about? Missouri. All right, let's try Missouri. Missouri. I used to live in Missouri. It was miserable. No, it wasn't. It was no. Honestly, I lived in St. Louis. I loved it.
We don't have an affiliate. Oh yeah, we do have an affiliate there.
Yeah, I loved St. Louis. For Missouri, they recommend J. Reiger, R-E-I-G-E-R, J. Reiger and Company Monogram whiskey. They're out of Kansas City, and the article says they make plenty of excellent, straightforward expressions, including bottled in bond bourbons and ryes. But for a truly memorable pour, search for a bottle of Monogram, a highly limited annual release that allows the distillery, they say, to truly flex its muscle. Wow. So I'm going to skip to Texas just because I know more about Texas whiskey than most states, obviously living here. So I really want to see what they chose.
Can I guess?
From Texas. Yeah, guess while I'm scrolling.
I'm going to guess that they're going to have Balcones.
Balcones, yeah.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
And maybe the Balmore.
Oh, no. But I think you're going to love who they have.
Still Austin.
Iron Root Republic.
Harbinger.
Wow. Their Harbinger 115 straight Texas bourbon.
Yes.
We've had them on the show. We've had that bourbon on the show.
I need to call them.
And yeah, they say here we love seeing an increasingly wide selection of Texas whiskeys on the market. Many, including Still Austin and Milam and Green, ship most places in the U.S. Whiskey from Iron Root Republic is a little tougher to find, but no less delicious. So that may be one of the reasons it made this, because they're saying if you're in Texas, if you're visiting, this is one that you might want. And those guys are awesome, by the way, at Iron
They
Root.
are.
Oh, absolutely.
And I say guys, but really it's Mama that's
I was
going
to say, isn't that the one that the mom
awesome.
runs? Yeah, exactly.
Mama
I love
is
that. Yeah.
the bomb.
Yeah.
She is absolutely good. Okay, while we still have time, we got to do drinking news in this segment while I enjoy some more of this mezcal. And I'm ready, Ian, if you are.
Drinking news. Now it's time for drinking news. A Florida man with one arm said had a gator for a pet. When asked about his absent arm, he said,
Got to take a gator to the vet.
Drinking news. Now it's time for drinking news.
Cheers, y'all. See, I thought he was going to sing it, but that worked out perfectly.
I don't know if it's a really singing line. It was
It's more of a
little more
spoken line.
spoken. Yeah.
Terry, I forgot to give you a heads up on this. I apologize. I need the breaking drinking news sounder. Do you know where that is?
Drinking news.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I do here. This
Because
is
before we get to our main story, this just in, it is breaking drinking news. That just makes it sound so much better, doesn't it? I love that. There is no word yet on whether a national state of emergency will be declared, but sources on the ground are confirming a serious issue in Massachusetts. Boston has run out of beer.
Oh, shit.
And apparently, we had an S-bomb there. Terry marked that for radio. It's okay. You thought we were at Copperhead Brewing. It's okay. No, that was a joke. Don't get all freaked out, my Copperhead friends. Apparently, we know who is responsible. It's those damn Scottish. Okay, I know the correct use of the term would be to say it's those damn Scots. But somehow in my head, that sounded more like I was unhappy with a bag of lawn fertilizer and not the actual people from Scotland. But that's not important right now. According to multiple news sources, bars and tap rooms in the Boston area have been drunk completely dry, and it just happens to coincide with the arrival of thousands of Scottish soccer fans who got here to the U.S. to watch their team in the World Cup. Now, this story hits very close to home for me because I lived in Boston for 7 years, and I will state for the record that of all the places I've lived, Boston, Massachusetts is in fact the city I would least expect to run dry.
Yeah.
The sources say that especially on St. Patrick's Day, they're stocking up now for St. Patrick's Day next year in Boston. Well, as soon as they, restock their taps and stuff. The sources say that the visiting Scots, many of whom were fully decked out in celebratory kilts, drank all of the beer in the plane on their inbound flights, and that the Sam Adams Tap Room, Hennessy's Bar, and the Beantown Pub all report being completely tapped out of any beer.
They killed it.
And at Federal Wine and Spirits, in Boston, the refrigerator door has been broken from being opened too many times. I am not making that up.
Oh.
Clearly,
Wow.
Greater Boston, at the very least, should be declared a disaster area by the government.
Oh,
and
yeah.
federal forces should swoop in and deliver pallet after pallet of relief aid beer to Bostonians and, yes, the visiting Scots. I have already pledged to donate a 6-pack of Lone Pint Yellow Rose IPA from my personal beer fridge to the recovery efforts. We will keep you posted on this story as it develops. But I can just tell you, I lived in Boston for 7 years. This is a big deal. It's
I heard
an emergency.
Budweiser was having to make emergency shipments into
That's amazing.
they got the Clydesdales and just went on.
Still, it didn't help. But our main
But
story.
you know what's funny is I also saw a big thing that said apparently they don't like Budweiser or Bud Light so much.
Yeah, I think they said they only have Bud Light left. That was my bad Scottish accent. I was trying
If
to.
it's not Scottish, it's
It's
crap.
I was trying to sound like Shrek, but it didn't work out very well. But our main story in today's drinking news involves the concealed
Sounded like
carry.
donkey.
The concealed carry of a firearm. Now, concealed carry basically means the possession of a handgun on one's person or in close proximity in a manner that hides the weapon from public view. In most cases, that likely means a holster that's covered by a shirt or jacket, or maybe a gun inside a handbag. And in the U.S., this is widely considered to be a right granted by the Second Amendment.
Yes.
But a Brazilian woman was much more creative.
Brazilian woman.
Wow. I like how you gave it that little swing.
I had to swing it a little.
That was
I mean,
good.
I didn't have time to like.
Oh, but I wish you had, because that's awesome.
It didn't click until I was halfway through the other one.
Our story, we'll say Brazilian woman again.
Okay, good. Then I'll boss it up.
The story begins with law enforcement in Cidade Occidental, Goiás State, Brazil.
It's
Receiving
easy
a
for
tip.
you to say.
I worked on that before the show, just so you know.
In the mirror.
Yeah, and I knew I didn't want to ask you to pronounce it because we'd be here for until like a show 2 weeks from now.
Human Torch was denied a big loan.
The story begins in Brazil, where cops received a tip about a couple on a motorcycle that was armed and potentially dangerous. They spotted the couple and pulled them over, at which time the pair disclosed to officers that they were searching for a man who had robbed the male's mother earlier. And it was clear to police that this couple intended to take justice into their own hands. Now, the cops asked if the couple was in possession of firearms, and that is where our story takes a rather bizarre turn. When they replied that yes, they did have a gun, officers demanded that they hand it over. And that was when the Brazilian woman...
Brazilian woman.
I like it. Took you a moment, but you got there. That was when the Brazilian woman agreed to comply and produced the gun, which was a Taurus PT 92 caliber 9mm pistol with 2 live rounds inside of it. And our Brazilian woman proved that this was, in fact, concealed carry when she went to retrieve the gun by pulling it out of her vagina. Yes, you heard that right. The suspect was carrying a loaded handgun in her lady garden.
Which way was it facing?
I
feel like that could go wrong real quick.
She removed it, and there is actually blurred out video of this on the internet.
No.
And handed it to the officers, who I'm guessing immediately broke out gloves and maybe masks before placing the pistol that had been hidden in her hoo-hoo into a plastic evidence
Something
bag.
fishy going on here.
The woman did not explain why she was executing a concealed coochie carry. And in fact,
Well, here's the thing. Like in Texas,
yeah,
you have to have it in a holster.
I mean,
well,
Well, it's in a
Like
holster.
you can
Hey,
conceal it, but it has to be in a holster.
all
You
this
can't,
was her holster.
you can't
yeah.
just put it in your pocket.
I mean, I
you
This
have
was
to
her
have
holster.
it in your.
I cite Broad City and Elena,
Flesh holster.
who says that is the female pocket, and that's where you should hide your weed, and obviously guns.
Yeah, well, the woman did not explain why she was executing her concealed coochie carry.
Also, you need
And-
to have it somewhere where you can easily access it.
Right. Well, in fact,
I'm just leaving that one out there.
the reason that she was carrying this lead slinger in her lady garden remains a mystery even days after the incident. The couple, who were also operating the motorcycle without a driver's license, were detained and taken to a
Wait,
police station.
She was sitting on a motorcycle.
Yes.
Yes.
With-
This is
Yes.
she was
with
riding
a pistol.
behind. The guy was driving a motorcycle. She was sitting behind
she
him
was,
with the
she
pistol.
That's why
was
the
getting
easy
all
to
the
get-
vibrations from the
The easy to get
sitting
thing.
directly on a.
Which way was it facing?
I need
Again.
another drink.
I want to know which way was it
I think
facing.
you should pour him some more
Isn't
mezcal.
there a handle involved?
Yeah. The couple who were also operating the motorcycle without a driver's license were
Wait,
detained.
was this like a 1911 style, or was this a revolver? Let's get the details here.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's
getting there. I'm getting there.
Taurus, 9mm.
The couple who were also operating the motorcycle without a driver's license were detained and taken to a police station where the gun was booked into evidence. Now, look, it might surprise you that I would find a story about a woman hiding a pistol in a pink taco somewhat inspiring. But if that surprises you, then apparently you don't know me very well.
Excuse me, do you have my Walther PPK?
I have been inspired
I don't know. We were just in the back seat and it went off.
by this tale of the well-hidden weapon.
like in Pulp Fiction.
Q at MI6 is getting very creative.
And quite often, when I become inspired, I like to express that inspiration by jotting down a few lines of poetry or prose. And so, despite the trouble this could potentially get me in with the Brazilian government, I am either brave or stupid or both. I would like to share my poetic musings with you now.
Can I point
right
out
here
something real
on
quick?
Drinking News.
I like that you're going to do a poem because I don't think there's any other top 5 places that would be worse
See,
to put that.
I thought of a top 5 list, and
No.
I got stuck on 5.
Nothing. Yeah, there's nothing.
Exactly.
That's-
Would this be a haiku?
Probably so.
I see what you did there.
Just
That
going to
was-
let that go. Could I get a little poetry reading music, please? And it goes a little something like this. Cops in Brazil, just after midday, stopped a motorcycle couple on the causeway. Their question number 1 was, "Do you guys have a gun?" Turns out her holster was her vajayjay. Reporting live from a pub in Boston, where I have just confirmed that they are completely out of beer. All they have left is Michelob Ultra. My name is Cruz, and that is your...
Drinking news, drinking news. That's our time for drinking news.
Cheers, y'all. It's not every day that you get that kind of a drinking news story. I just
No,
want to
that was a special drinking
Yeah,
news.
it takes me back to the one about the guy who grew the penis on his arm, which is
Oh, yeah.
maybe my all-time
Yeah.
favorite drinking news story.
Yeah.
And we've already done that story like 3 times. I think it's going to be time for a 4th
It's
soon.
still hilarious.
It's evergreen. It's what we
It's
call evergreen.
It is an evergreen story.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
what we
true.
call evergreen.
That is true.
Doesn't matter how many times you do it, it's still wonderful.
Speaking of wonderful,
Chris-
The
amazing-
vodka.
Chris is still
Have
sitting
you
here
tried
with
this?
No, but he's sitting here with a shocked look on his face, and I don't know if it's from the beer or from drinking news.
Drinking news. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That's enough to drive a man right.
Gives a Brazilian a whole new connotation. for
Right,
me.
but I think you may need to go to a meeting. I'm just saying.
Probably after
I'm
that
just
one.
saying. Ian, what is this we're drinking, or that you're drinking? I haven't sampled it. yet.
Holsters
I've been doing
Anonymous.
Holsters Anonymous.
I'm sorry. I am, guys. I'm in 7th grade.
This
just
is
so
turned,
you know.
This has turned dark
Yeah.
and warm.
Speaking of dark, this beer.
Body Farm Imperial Stout.
Let the bodies hit
Body
the floor.
Farm. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
This
Wait for that to set in a moment.
This is roasty.
Like, keep going.
Yeah.
Take one more sip, and then I'm going to tell you what's going on here. All right. With candy cap mushrooms, cocoa nibs, and vanilla beans.
These are all wonderful things.
Like, how good is that? This beer was brewed in honor of the Forensic Anthropology Research Facility of Texas State University, the world's spatially largest outdoor human decomposition research lab,
the hell?
also known as Body Farm.
Wow. I find it interesting that Body Farm beer.
What the hell just happened?
Soylent Green. We're drinking Soylent Green.
It followed our story about the woman's holster.
My God.
So,
if you want a beer that was cultivated right next to dead people?
yeah.
You know what we found out, though? Soylent bourbon is still bourbon.
That's good to know. All right, we got a lot to do in our final segment, so we'll come back and do that. I'm going to have each of you pick one more state that will go from this list. We're going to talk more about this beer, and you're going to give us a final song that will hopefully get us out
Uplift us. Yes,
of this mess that we've gotten ourselves
my
into.
God.
So we will be right back. You are listening to Smoking and Toasting.
Crap, I got to write a happy song real quick.
Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars.
And Body Farm beer.
Today's show has been jam-packed. We've had so much going on. We could easily do another hour, but I won't subject you fine people to that. We'll just try to wrap things up here. I wanted to go back to this list of whiskey to buy if you're in a state and
Yes.
you need to buy one and bring it home. And I thought each of you could give me one more state, and we'd do that, and then we'll have a little tune to take.
How
us
about
home.
Wisconsin?
Ooh, Wisconsin. Of course, I'm up here on Colorado, and you make me scroll all the way to Wisconsin. Thanks a lot. South Dakota, Tennessee.
Okay, Zootopia.
Oh, no, I'm almost there. Wisconsin. Wisconsin. J. Henry and Sons Husk Beer Barrel Finish.
I've had it.
Oh.
You have had it?
Yeah,
So do you have a relationship with Wisconsin?
I
or is
do.
this-
I go up there for the last, this will be my 4th year going up for a songwriter retreat that we do
Okay.
up there.
Wow.
Well, they
Yeah.
say it was first released in 2025. Husk has a complex pedigree. First, their signature heirloom red corn was malted and brewed into a beer. That liquid was aged in used bourbon casks for a year before being bottled. And then finally, they put bourbon back into those barrels for secondary maturation. And J. Henry and Sons
Wow.
Husk Beer Barrel Finish.
I just want to point
Wisconsin.
out that this
Good with
mezcal and this beer go well together.
Oh, I haven't gone back.
and I
forth.
don't know that I've ever said that before.
I will have. No, I agree with you. Terry, give me a state.
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Ooh. Oh, see, you're trying to trick me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got it. I got it covered. It's all good.
That's
I
a
just
long
have
drive,
to.
but I could tour there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right.
I'd be happy to go. I think we should do.
I heard Teslas can do it in the water, so just grab one. Guy did it in Dallas a while back.
In Hawaii, you're going to want to look for Koalau Distillery. That's KO''OLAU. Koalau Distillery, and their Old Pali Road whiskey. Pali Road whiskeys.
Okay.
They say that Hawaii's not exactly overflowing with craft whiskeys, but there's still a variety of local booze on offer. And Koalau Distillery is the best-known producer. It's released limited expressions of 100% Hawaiian distilled bourbon, but you're most likely to find their Old Pali Road whiskey, which is a blend of 90% corn bourbon and aged American whiskey from other sources. But they say it is quite good.
Nice.
So, one more state. Ian.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. That's a good one. Oh, I'm glad you thought of that. Because Pennsylvania, I mean, the history of beer and spirits in
Liberty.
Pennsylvania is a wonderful and yeah, that bell thing that they have, which is kind of cool. I've been there. I've seen it.
Mostly Rocky.
Yeah, I've seen those steps. I at one point was going to go up those steps and do that, and I got about 20 steps up, and I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Wasn't Ben Franklin from there?
Pennsylvania, Liberty Pole Spirits,
Liberty
Old
Pole.
you.
Old Monongahela Foolproof Rye. They say Pennsylvania's Liberty Pole is one of several craft producers embracing this style, this historic style of rye whiskey. This expression starts with 61% rye, 13% wheat, 13% malted rye, and 13% malted barley. Sounds like that's got your name on it, Ian. It really does. After distillation, it goes into the barrel at 108 proof, which ultimately leads to a sweet and spicy aged whiskey we could revisit time and time again. After maturation, the whiskey is proofed back to 108, which we think is prime territory for this particular style and profile. So there you go. Do we have time for a song before we
Yes,
go?
I think we should go out with a song.
Okay, so let me just say thank you guys all for listening. Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having
and for
me.
sharing your music with us. We appreciate it. We love it. And he's going to take us home. So I'll just say before he starts, cheers, y'all.
Cheers, y'all.
everybody.
Will it hurt your feelings if I play a little ukulele over
Not
top?
at all.
Yeah.
Who do
He doesn't know the song, but
Just do it. We'll play it out.
Yeah.
It'll be on the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, it'll be the whole thing. If you're listening to the radio show, go to the podcast. You can hear the rest of the
The
song.
song's about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It's not by me. It's by a guy named Colin Nichols out of Kansas, one of my good friends and an excellent songwriter. It's called Old Me Did. Well, I stay out a little too late. I can't help but second guess myself when I decide on anything. I make mistakes that I tell myself I'm gonna stop making. Yeah, I still struggle with all the smallest things, but not like the old me did. Stuck in my bad habits, acting like a kid, taking life for granted. Oh, I still lose my way every now and then, but not like the old me did. Like showing up late to everything I do, canceling plans last minute 'cause I was still asleep past noon. These days I'm looking for new ways to learn and improve, 'cause now that I'm older, time ain't something I'm willing to lose like the old me did. Stuck in my bad habits, acting like a kid, taking life for granted. Oh, I still lose my way every now and then, but not like the old me did. No, not like the old me did. I'm growing up a little more every day. I'll keep working on me till I make a change. Not like the old me did. Stuck in my bad habits, acting like a kid, taking life for granted. Oh, I still lose my way every now and then, but not like the old me did. I stay out a little too late. I still struggle with all the smallest things.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
That's a beautiful song.
That was beautiful.
Great tune.
Absolutely love it. That was terrific. Well, thank you so much, Chris Collins, for coming on. Where can people find you online?
ChrisCollinsmusic.com.
So,
KRIS.
KRIS, CollinsMusic.com.
CollinsMusic.com. Just like
Yeah,
Uncle
that's good.
Phil.
And I have to say, Ian really added with the ukulele.
Yeah,
fills
that was
there.
beautiful,
I
man.
thought that was very well
thank
done.
you.
Excellent.
Particularly since he didn't know the song, which is a lot
100%.
like normal
awesome,
playing for Ian when he doesn't know the song, that he just jumps right in and takes it, and it's wonderful. Chris, we would love to have you back on the show
Oh my
again.
gosh, I'll be back next week.
Okay, good. But the next time you're on, we really want to hear that cover that you do of Tub Thumping that we've heard so
Yes.
much
Oh,
about.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you get
I'll
knocked
do
down,
that and get
but
knocked
you,
down. Yeah,
you
we'll
get back up
on.
again.
Yeah, right back up again.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah. Real quick, you mentioned your friend that song was from.
Yeah, Colin Nichols.
Is he? Did you say he was from Kansas?
He's
or
from
Kentucky?
Topeka, Kansas. Yeah.
Topeka, Kansas.
He
So-
doesn't have. I mean, he's got a YouTube channel. That song's not out yet, and
Mm-hmm.
so he allowed me to record it, but I agreed to not release it till after he did.
Nice.
So
Technically, this doesn't
hopefully
count.
by January,
Even though
I'll
it's
be able
heard
to release
all
it.
over the country.
Yeah, exactly. We
so-
just won't tell anyone. It's
Oh,
just
no,
between
no.
us.
Yeah, just between us.
When
No,
you're
he
visiting
knows I
him
was
in
gonna play it.
Kansas,
Yeah.
you might want to go to Boot Hill Distillery and
Boot
try their
Hill.
straight wheat whiskey.
Straight
because
wheat.
Yeah, they like to highlight Kansas' reputation as the breadbasket of the world, and more specifically, the wheat state. So they go for the wheat whiskey. Farm and Distillery grows its own grain for this 100% wheat mash bill, and they age it for 2 years before bottling at 100 proof.
What's
and
it called again?
It is called Boot Hill Distillery
Boot Hill.
Straight Wheat Whiskey. And that sounds like a Middle America whiskey, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Boot Hill? Yeah.
Yes.
Love it. And just before we go, I just wanted to mention Kentucky because, when you think of bourbon, when you think of whiskey in the U.S., you think of Tennessee and you think of Kentucky first, and then maybe like, Texas and, Washington State and a few other places. But Kentucky, with so many different distilleries there, I was curious to see what they would pick. And they picked Michter's US 1 barrel strength bourbon.
Michter's make a great whiskey.
They really do make a great whiskey.
make a great whiskey.
I became a Michter's fan when I was watching Ray Donovan, because they always drank Michter's on Ray Donovan. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I got me a bottle of Michter's and was like, okay, now I see why they're drinking.
I became a Michter's fan when the reps turned to me and looked at me and said, "Do you want to try some of this?" I said,
I love when they do that. Speaking of reps, do we have any guests coming up that you want to plug since we're in a
we have
bonus
Gary
segment?
Clark coming up next week.
Gary Clark Jr.? I mean, no offense, but
Not that guy.
I know where I'm at on the totem pole.
I would be even more excited than having Chris on if we had Gary Clark Jr. on.
Gary Clark, the whiskey guy. We had him on very early in the show, like
Okay, yeah,
pre-100.
So
Like very early in the show. He was known as the whiskey guy back then. He's with Saltier Rare Malt Whiskey right now. So we're going to have him on next week.
So there's going to come a point where he looks at you and says, "Would you like to try some Saltier Rare Malt Whiskey?"
I will say something along the lines of yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
Something.
That's
Just
good
to
know.
sum it up.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for being here for the program. We appreciate it. Thank you for the music.
Thank you?
What's that?
Can I add a thank you?
Of course.
Thank you, obviously, to all of you guys for having me on. This is awesome.
Well-
but also, thank you to my incredible wife who makes this all possible, and to my daughter and son-in-law, Eugene and Olivia. I love y'all. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you for being here.
Awesome.
We love your music and we love supporting independent music, and that's
Thank you.
even though
Thank
it's not what the show's about. Independent musicians
Dude,
are
when we can tie it in,
Yeah.
100%.
and independent musicians are great to drink with. I've discovered this over my
Amen.
life. So
And I am so excited to be a part of this. Thank you.
much love, much love. Have a great week, my friends. And as we like to say, and we may have said even before his song, but we'll say it again.
Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.
y'all.
Listen what anybody else says. Such a stubborn one, I think I'm in love with you. Come on, you're such a sweet little honey. Your smile's the loveliest of the lovely, yeah. Ditch that guy, we'll go outside. I know where we can do it. There I go, and I've been